it says here that all three scripts are saying the same thing.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most significant archaeological discoveries that were uncovered inadvertently.
Now, this was the first time the scrolls were ever found. It's where the whole story started.
Number 10. Ötzi.
A frozen relic from the Stone Age. The oldest intact human body ever found.
Imagine going for a lovely mountain hike when you stumble across a 5,000-year-old body. Well, that's what happened to tourists Helmut and Erika Simon, who were walking on the Ötztal Alps on September 19, 1991. The German tourists happened upon a mummified body that was frozen in the ice. They believed the death was recent and notified the locals, who sent up a team to extract the remains.
The find causes a worldwide sensation. The press dubs him the Iceman, or Ötzi.
The body was salvaged and taken away for tests, which proved that it was not recent at all. The man had died sometime around 3200 BCE. Ötzi is now regarded as the oldest natural human mummy in European history and has been deeply studied for information about the Copper Age.
I think maybe we could find more incidents about other people, maybe about the person who shot him.
Number 9. The Lysium. Few locations in classical Greece were as important as the Lysium. This temple housed Aristotle's Peripatetic school, in which he and his members discussed philosophy and science. It was basically an early university, well before the concept of universities became commonplace. The school was founded by the famous polymath in 334 BCE and lasted until 86 BCE, when the Roman general Sulla destroyed it in the Siege of Athens. The ruins were considered lost until 1996, when construction began on the city's Museum of Modern Art. Excavations unearthed the remains of the Lysium, and plans were immediately made to conserve the area and relocate the museum. Number 8. The Uluburun Shipwreck.
That was what's so amazing about it. It's 1,000 years later, and it's identical to a shipwreck that's been excavated from 400 BC.
Off the coast of Turkey in the Bay of Antalya lies a magnificent shipwreck dating to the late Bronze Age. And its discovery is thanks to a local sponge diver. Mehmet Çakır was diving for sponges in 1982 when he came across the wreck and then sketched his findings.
Their locations were carefully mapped, and although they were working underwater, the archaeologists gradually pieced together a detailed plan of what remained of the ship's cargo.
These sketches attracted the attention of Oğuz Alpazen, the director of the Bodrum Museum of Underwater Archaeology, who sent a team to investigate Çakır's findings. They discovered an ancient boat dating to the late 14th century BCE that was carrying a number of trade items. These included weapons and gold, proving the wreck's significance as an important piece of Bronze Age history. Number 7. The Edinburgh Vaults.
Gambling dens, brothels, taverns all took over this location, and famously, it was used by the body snatchers and the grave robbers.
Back in 1788, Edinburgh completed its South Bridge, which connects Nicholson Street with the High Street, passing over a steep valley in the ancient city. The bridge contains 19 arches, and in these arches are the Edinburgh Vaults.
People started to live, and a whole community, if you like, of Edinburgh's low life existed down under the ground here.
These vaults have been used for a variety of purposes. They were first used by tradesmen before eventually becoming dens for illicit and illegal activity. Rubble was eventually used to seal the vaults during the 19th century. They remained closed for about 100 years before Scottish rugby player Norrie Rowan found a tunnel that led into their depths. He and his son personally excavated the tunnels, and they are now a popular destination for ghost tours.
Right over here, dude. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening. So you don't like us, Mr. Boots, huh? You don't like us?
Number 6. Derinkuyu. There you are, renovating your home and minding your own business when you remove a wall and find a secret room. Curious, you decide to explore and venture forth, discovering that this secret room is actually part of an entire underground city. It sounds like a dream or a movie, but it wasn't. A Turkish man was renovating his house in 1963 when this scenario occurred, leading to the unearthing of the ancient underground city of Derinkuyu.
Look at that. This is so cool.
Extending about 300 feet into the earth. Derinkuyu consists of a series of tunnels dating back to the Byzantine Empire. These tunnels were reportedly made by local citizens to hide from invading armies during wars. They were used throughout history to escape persecution before they were finally abandoned.
İşlik, depolama, yatakhane, ahır, ibadet yerleri mevcut olup yaşam olduğu gibi yer altındaydı.
Number 5. The Venus de Milo. One of humanity's most famous sculptures. The Venus de Milo has been housed in the Louvre since 1821. Standing 6 feet 7 inches tall, the statue is known for its slight lean and for missing both of its arms. Believe it or not, this was not intended by the sculptor. Rather, this is how the statue was found in 1820. The Venus de Milo was discovered by a Greek farmer and a French sailor named Olivier Voutier on the island of Milos. It was then purchased by Louis XVIII of France and installed in the Louvre, later becoming a world-renowned piece of art. Interestingly, it wasn't only the sculpture's quality that made it famous, but an intense marketing campaign. Number 4. The Dead Sea Scrolls.
The Dead Sea Scrolls were written by scribes carefully copying from existing documents.
Often considered the greatest archaeological find of the 20th century, the Dead Sea Scrolls were essentially just sitting in a cave for over 1,000 years. Then, a group of 3 Bedouin shepherds were walking in the Judean desert when a man named Muhammad ad-Daib literally fell into the history books. He had stumbled into a cave, and it was there that he uncovered the first of the Dead Sea Scrolls buried in some jars. Originally thought to be worthless, the scrolls are now considered supremely valuable artifacts of religious and linguistic history. Dated to between the 3rd century BCE and the 1st century CE, they mostly consist of ancient manuscripts, including ones that were never canonized in the Old Testament.
Whoever placed the scrolls in the caves was never actually able to return and retrieve them.
Number 3. The Rosetta Stone.
So even though the text tells us that it would have been set up in every important temple of Egypt, we don't know where the Rosetta Stone itself was originally from.
We can thank a French army officer named Pierre-François Bouchard for allowing us to translate ancient Egyptian script. It was July of 1799, and Bouchard was in Egypt fighting on behalf of Napoleon. During the campaign, he was ordered to rebuild Fort Julian, an old Ottoman fortification built in the 15th century. While sifting through the rubble, Bouchard stumbled upon the Rosetta Stone, which had been used in the fort's construction as a building material.
Different scripts on one stone. Why would they do that?
He immediately pegged the find as being significant, and he was so right. Created back in 196 BCE, the stone is an old decree written in both Egyptian and Greek, and the bilingual text allowed researchers to finally decipher the ancient Egyptian writing system.
Today, the Rosetta Stone, for me, is a symbol of Western colonialism over my culture. It represents a spoil of war, it represents cultural violence.
Number 2. The Lasco Cave. When you think of prehistoric cave drawings, you probably imagine the ones in Lascaux. The famous cave is covered in over 600 beautiful paintings, most of which are stylized depictions of animals. The cave is found near the French village of Montignac-Lascaux, and the paintings are believed to be 17,000 years old. And this incredible find was made in 1940 by a local teenager walking his dog. 18-year-old Marcel Ravida was going for a stroll when his canine buddy found a hole in the ground. Ravida later returned with his friends to investigate the hole, finding the cave and its now legendary paintings. However, it was open just 23 years before getting resealed in 1963 to protect the paintings.
Images of horses were among his drawings. Then, they were among the animals he hunted for food.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Terracotta Army.
So these warriors are all life-sized, like real soldiers. Also, they have different facial features.
Protecting their emperor in the afterlife are 8,000 clay soldiers known as the Terracotta Army. These soldiers protect the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, who served as the first emperor of China between 221 and 210 BCE. Serving as a highly elaborate form of funerary art, the Terracotta Army was literally unearthed in 1974 by a small group of local farmers.
But despite looting, fires, and the passage of time, Qin's army survived into the modern world.
They were digging a 50-foot well in Lingtong, China, when farmer Yang Jifu dug up the head of a terracotta figure. He notified the proper authorities, and a team of archaeologists was sent out to investigate. The rest, as they say, is history.
What an experience.
What would you do if you literally stumbled upon an ancient site? Let us know in the comments. Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.